Hi everyone, my name is Saldina from CodeBeauty channel and I am so excited for making this video. In today's video, I will give you 7 tips to help you pass a developer job interview, and it is not really important if it is your first job interview or you already had some. If you're watching this video, you are probably a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious, and you're not sure that you're going to get that job. So here are 7 tips to help you get that job that you want. The first tip that I have to give you is be careful what you put in your CV. And here you are taking advice from a person that has put every single language, framework, technology, basically everything that I came in contact with during my university, I put that in the CV for my first job. And I did it because I didn't know any better at the time. So I would give you advice to not make the same mistake that I did and to learn from my mistake. So when I finished university, I wanted to apply for a job and I had to write a CV. So I thought, okay, during my university, I worked a lot with Angular, so I'm definitely good at Angular. I'm going to put that in. And then this one MVC project that I did, it took me the whole weekend. I got an A, so that definitely means that I'm an MVC expert, so I put that in as well. And then this one time that I saw some Java code on my friend's computer by accident, but I could understand it, so I must be natural in Java, I don't even need to learn that, so I put Java as well.
Cognitive cloud computing, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, blockchain, DevOps, security, networks, neural networks.
So that was my train of thought when I was writing this CV, and I got that job. So stay with me, I'm going to explain in a minute what I think was crucial for that. So 2 years in that job, there was this conference and I was invited. So they asked for my CV and I was like, okay, I have the CV that I made when I was applying for this job. So I'm just going to take that, add a couple more things, and that should be it. So I found that CV and I was like, oh my God, why did I think that I know anything about quantum computing and cognitive cloud computing and artificial intelligence and blockchain and virtual reality and all of these things? So I actually took half of those things out of my CV and I ended up with half of the CV that I had at the end of my university, and that was my realistic CV. But there was these 2 things that I think were crucial for me getting that job. And the first one is I was confident. I was very confident, and that was because I didn't know that I don't know all of these things. I really thought that I knew all of them. And there is a big difference between finishing university and knowing something and then having 10 plus years of experience working with that in the industry. So there is a very, very big difference. And then the second situation that happened is I remember putting in my CV that I speak Spanish to some extent, but what I didn't know is that the company that I was applying for had clients in Spanish-speaking countries, so they knew Spanish as well. And I clearly remember to this moment a situation where this person that was interviewing me asked, "Oh, so you speak Spanish, right?" And I saw that he does not believe me, he does not trust me, so I decided to respond with, sí, por supuesto, podemos continuar con esta entrevista en español si quieres. And he said, no need. So I think that really gave me a little bit of credibility, so they didn't check for all those things that I put in my CV and that I wasn't really good at. So I repeat again, be very careful what you put in your CV, because there is really zero possibility that you can fool an experienced developer and convince him that you know something that you don't. And if you put something in your CV, you can expect them to ask you about that. So what you can do instead is you can make a clear separation between things that you know very good and then the ones that you're just familiar with. Second tip is something that I already mentioned in my previous tip, but I think that it is very important, so I will make it a tip on its own, and that is to be confident. It is very important to be confident, and that includes to dress in a way that makes you feel confident, and then to arrive on time, to have a good posture while sitting or standing, to be calm, so not to panic or shake or tremble during the interview. And then even if you don't have a lot of experience, even if your CV is not that rich, what you can do is you can let them know with your attitude that you are confident. You can tell them with your attitude, don't look at my CV, look at me, because I am the person that you want to hire. And even if I don't know all the things that you need right now, I know this and I know it very good, and that is a starting point for me, and from there I go on. Tip number 3, and if you ask me, this is the one that you really want to take with you from this video, because all of these other tips are something that you do before the interview itself, so something that you do in order to prepare for the interview. But this tip is something that you can use during the interview itself, and that is to give yourself time. So don't rush with the answers. So when you get a question, instead of immediately being like, so instead of doing that, what you can do is you can say, can you please give me a minute to think about this question? Or can we come back to this question later because I want to think about the answer? And don't be afraid to say that. Don't think that you will sound like a person that is not ready or prepared for the interview, but what it is going to do is it is going to give you more credibility. It is going to make you look like a person that really likes to think through the problem and come up with the best possible solution, so with the best possible answer. And as well, don't overuse it. Don't be like, can you give me a minute for every single question, because then it is going to be weird. But what you can do is you can keep this tip at hand and use it in a situation if your brain gets stuck, for example, or you get an unexpected question. My tip number 4 is to focus on the things that you know and that you want to do. So let me explain this. If you're watching this video, chances are that you are not probably experienced to the point where you can confidently say, okay, during these 10 or 15 years I worked on hundreds of projects and I accomplished a lot of things. Because if you really were that good, the interview would go the other way around. So instead of them asking you what can you bring to the company, they would be asking what can this company offer to you so that you want to work with us. And that is completely okay. That is the position that you want to be at in the future. But there are these learning stages that you have to go through in order to get there. And what a lot of people tend to do in this situation where they cannot confidently say, I know basically everything that you want, a lot of people tend to say, I am a fast learner. I can learn anything that you want. I can learn anything that you need. But instead of doing that, what I would do is I would focus on the things that I already know and things that I really like to do. So I would say during these 6 months or a year or however long, I really enjoyed working with Angular or Vue.js or .NET, whichever one it is, and I would give them a reason why. So I would say, for example, during these 6 months, I really enjoyed working with Vue.js because I think that it is very flexible. I find it very easy to integrate with other applications. I find it easy to deploy. And then if there are some things that you would like to do and try in the future, you can always say, so far I have been working with this, but I would really love to try this other thing in the future. And that is going to tell to your interviewer that you are someone who is ready and prepared to learn new things and to make progress. My tip number 5 is to be passionate about the same things that your company is interested in. Why? Because there is really no use in applying for a job for a company that is, let's say, strictly oriented towards building applications to help people with disabilities, and then you telling them that you want to exclusively build applications for fashion industry or car industry, So think about your reasons, and since you want to work for that company, you must have a reason why you want to work there. Is that company really building applications that help people with disabilities, and you have a friend or a family member that has certain difficulties, so that is your reason why you want to help? Or is that company building games and you are a passionate gamer, so you have a lot of great ideas on how to improve certain features, so you want to be part of that process of building games? So investigate what your company is interested in, and then think about your reasons why would you like to work there. And nowadays, social media is a great source of free information. So you can use Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, any other social platform in order to find out what your company is interested in, and then how do you fit in that picture. Tip number 6 is for shy people. So if you are a shy person, practice. You can practice with a friend or a brother or a sister, and if you don't have anyone, you can practice on your own in front of a mirror. And what I would even do if it is your first job interview, I would apply for a job in a different company, just have that experience of being on a job interview, so that once you come to the interview for that company that you are really interested in, you feel more confident, you feel more comfortable and relaxed, because a lot of people, when they are on a job interview, they feel like they are talking with this royal person and they have to be very serious, very formal. But how you can look at it instead is you can look at it as a conversation with a friend. So you speak with a friend about a certain topic and you express your opinion, and then that other person expresses theirs, and you have to find some common interests together. So the best way to feel comfortable and relaxed on a job interview is to practice. And as well, if I can sit in front of a camera and film a video for the whole world to see on a language that is clearly not my native language, and I'm a very, very shy person, if I can do that and practice so that it gets better with time, you can do your part as well, and you can practice until you get to the point where you say, I can't wait for that job interview. I'm going to get that job 100%. Tip number 7 is to prepare answers for common job interview questions. So don't let them surprise you with a question that you could easily predict they would be asking. So things like, tell me something about yourself, or why do you want this job? Why are you the best person for this job? And then technical questions as well. So can you explain X? And X is a technical term. Or can you tell me some of the projects that you worked on and the approach that you had? How did you or how would you solve this particular problem in your application? Can you find a bug in this code and things like that? And then if you're someone who has a pause in their CV or finishing university took you a long time, expect them to ask you why. Now, some people like to ask, why are you applying now? Why haven't you applied before? Aren't you too old to start now? What were you doing before? And I would say if you really want something, you can never be too old to start. There are, of course, stages in life when learning new things is going to be easier, and then the ones when it is going to be harder. But if you really want something, you should go for it. And in my opinion, the best way to answer this question is to be honest. So you can tell them if you had certain family problems and it took you a long time to resolve those, or if you needed the money so you had to work in something else, or you just were interested in something else more. But you will have to show interest in this now, because the reason that they are asking this question is they don't want to judge you. They just want to be sure that they have the right person and not someone who is going to lose interest 6 months from now. So if this is your case, prepare answer for this question as well. Those were some tips to help you get that job that you want. And if you have some other important tips, write them in the comments down below. And one last tip, a bonus tip, is to be positive. Share that positive vibe, and hopefully positive things will happen back to you. So give this video a thumbs up, share it with anyone who can benefit from it, and if you want more videos like this, consider subscribing to Traversy Media and my channel as well, which is CodeBeauty. I love you all. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to see you in some other video. Bye!